Good morning and welcome to our next project. It's raining outside today and it is supposed to rain most of the day. We're supposed to get about 40 mils of rain today, which I'm so happy about. The garden is going to love that. We have these galvanized metal panels that we're going to clean up, and that is what's going to be on the back walls. We're going to start with the wall right in behind the wood stove and the ceiling. We're not exactly sure if we have enough of this to cover this wall as well. We also picked up a brand new wood stove. It's a little smaller, but it's also longer, so it's going to be able to accept longer pieces of wood, which is what we have right now in the wood pile. We did order 15-inch pieces. We ended up with between 10 and 24-inch pieces. It's a lot of work to process all this firewood, and at this point we have so many projects on the go right now. We just decided to spend $500 and get a new wood stove. We set up our canopy outside the garage because of the rain, and we're gonna cut the metal out here, but inside we're pretty much ready to go. Well, we've come to a milestone part of our project. We started putting up the ceiling. I cleaned off all the panels. I got so wet that I actually had to go change. That's okay. So we have 3 more panels to put on the roof, and then we'll start the walls. Now, in order to cut around that area right there, we needed to outline it on the sheet. How do you feel?
Sore, but happy.
Yeah, the rest of those are going to be a little harder to get.
Yeah.
This is 6.
That'll get started.
Oh, look. That's one of those ones you're not supposed to touch. Touch them.
Nope. So we're starting the trims for the wall metal.
These are J molds. So the strapping goes in here first, and then the metal panel goes in. So I think these are 1.5 inches. We're moving on to our next step here. We are going to start installing the strapping. 3 tapes. I am so glad we decided to do this project this weekend. Yesterday it rained so much. The garden gauge says 2 inches or 49 mils. That's a lot of rain in one day. But we're back at it again this morning. We're starting off a little bit later than we were thinking, but we had a ton of processing to do this morning. We had chickens to deal with, ground beef to deal with. We had to cut up some cabbage for sauerkraut. We also have probably about 15 or 20 pounds of tomatoes coming in every time we harvest now. I finished the strapping on the back wall here. Also, while we were picking the chickens this morning from smoking them last night, we decided to start a chicken broth. I threw a bunch of vegetables in there, and we're going to be boiling that on a propane burner outside. Right now we're getting back to the wood stove project. This piece of galvanized right here is going to be the first one we cut for the back wall. It is going on the top row, and you need to cut it about 80 inches long.
You put your hand here.
Okay, I'm gonna do one move, one swift move, okay?
It's half inch, eh?
Okay, it's gotta be cut again.
Yeah. Something's off. Something's really off. You're gonna get a square, hon? Let's try that again.
This is officially our first panel. So you can see there how it's gonna look. Are we seriously went into a screw?
That same spot too.
What is happening? Also, this needs to move down a bit. Oof, I hope the other ones go better than that one. This panel right here is the same type of metal as the other two panels in the same profile. It just looks a little more beat up, I suppose. And I'm just using my horsehair brush. So we've taken the time and cleaned them off, cleaned all the dirt and straw and anything else that was on it. And they look great and they are ready to go up. We're gonna stop here for a second because we have a piece of metal that we have to just cut the corner out of. This panel right here butts up against the end of this wall, but on the bottom of this wall, we have a little lip. So we have to cut a little notch. We have to cut a little notch out of the bottom of this one to be able to slide that in there. Let's see if it's a perfect fit. It's like it's getting caught up on a screw or something.
No, it's getting caught up on the...
There. It was just too high. Okay.
How's that for a fit?
Aren't those going on the top? Those are 100% going on the top.
It turns out the measurements we took at the bottom, but it's bigger at the top. So these are
Oh, they won't fit?
small.
Oh. Oh no.
We took the measurement down here, and that's out of.
Oh,
out of the top.
we know better than that.
That's okay. We'll just put them on the bottom.
I know, but we're out of that color. So that's gonna have a different color there. I'm gonna go hunting. This is looking awesome so far. We have one more tiny section of wall left to do, and that wall's there's a little bit of figuring to do on there. I think it's looking amazing. Bill, what do you think?
I think it looks fantastic. No. Yeah, free metal.
All right, so what are we gonna do next?
Well, we're probably not going to film much next because it's going to be frustrating and there's going to be swearing. Lots of swearing.
Murphy, what do you think of the new wall? Looks pretty good, huh? Are you wondering where your warm fire is? Where's your ball? Go get your ball. Go get your ball. Murphy, bring it back. Bring it back. I'm gonna get that ball. I don't think I'm getting the ball today, folks. Let's go check on how Bill's doing in here with our most frustrating piece.
I just cut it again. I cut it wrong.
What happened? Is it too narrow? Okay, so we figured out an easy way to continue this project without getting super frustrated. So I'll show you. So the two pieces that we cut so far are too short for in between here. And we only have so much metal. And they're very, very difficult to get in because we have a J-mold here and a J-mold here. What we're gonna do is remove this piece of strapping here and this J-mold here, add this strapping back in, and then we'll be able to put the metal pieces into this gap right here. And then so then you'll see the end of that like this instead, except back further. And then we'll take a trim. Do you want to grab just maybe that one? This is the wrong size, but you get the idea. We'll take a trim and we'll put it over that between the back of the door and the metal. And I think that will look really good. Okay, that should make this way easier.
Awesome.
So guess what we haven't talked about yet, really?
What?
We haven't talked about the wood stove.
We haven't talked about the wood stove, but we'll talk about the wood stove when we get to installing the wood stove.
We really like how this is looking so far, but we're actually we have enough metal to do the ceiling here and this wall. So we're gonna start with the ceiling here. We've got a couple of funky panels to go on the ceiling. We have these panels that are cut on an angle, but when you flip one around, it actually makes a square panel. So we're gonna screw these together and then cut them the same length as the panel on the back wall here, and that'll make the ceiling. So you see a line here, but are you worried about that?
Not really.
I'm not worried about that either. Dave, tell me this is a genius idea.
It's a genius idea.
Yes.
I made something out of nothing.
We have the wood stove set up outside. Bill went to go grab the pipe. We're gonna put the pipe on here. We're gonna paint it and then we're gonna let it dry for a bit. And then we'll start a fire in it. Doesn't it look great? Doesn't it look so good? We're gonna sit and enjoy our fire that we built outside. Mostly Bill built outside. We'll see you tomorrow. Is it drywall?
Oh, it's drywall there, that's why.
Welcome to day 3 of our project here. There's a spider on my camera. Last night we started a fire in our new wood stove outside. We're starting tonight by finishing the ceiling on this project. Let's check in with Bill and see how that's going. How's Bill doing?
It's doing all right. It's going up.
We decided that we're going to put a trim around the metal on the ceiling, and I have just the perfect piece right over here. The metal siding is 1 1/4 inch thick, and this is 2 inches thick. So we can cut off of this right here and make our trim. And I think I'm going to use the live edge. Oh, it's a lot lighter than it was when we first put it there. Yeah.
Where's the Makita?
Makita.
Poor thing's been in storage for a while.
Yeah, it's not very often you pull out the corded saw.
Nope. The saw is 25 years old.
How long is it?
9 feet.
2 1/4.
I bought it new. And it's been dropped. And it doesn't make the most perfect cuts, but I like it.
Hey, is it supposed to be going through?
Yeah, I might have to flip it over.
So this is where the metal butts up against it. So Bill has to make a notch in this piece so that the metal slides into there. We're both starting to get a little tired. It's getting dark, but we had to bring the stove in. It has been a few weeks that we've even touched this project. We had to order some parts. We had to pick up some stuff from the hardware store to complete it. And we also been dealing with the extreme harvest coming out of the garden. So today we're gonna finish this up. It's looking really awesome so far. So today we're gonna basically be focusing on the wood stove installation. We are planning on raising up this wood stove. We have some of these concrete blocks to be able to raise it up, and we need to go find a patio stone in the secret garden. Other than that, we are ready to go. Thanks for coming. We're gonna wash off this patio stone, let it dry so that it'll accept the adhesive that we're gonna use to attach it to the concrete block. So we're gonna move on to something else while this dries. Rear end again. 23 by, right now it's 29 and a half, but we could make that 29, that way we would have a half an inch. Okay, so I believe this is going to be the orientation of the concrete blocks under the patio stone. And now we've marked on the floor, it's very hard to see, but we've marked on the floor the 4 legs of the wood stove. The back of the wood stove is this line, and then this line is the center of the wood stove, and that is identical up here. And we're going to extend these lines a little bit further so when we put the stones down we can see them. That's crooked, I think.
Exactly as it sits, just as nicely built.
Is the other one 30? So it has to be 29 from...
The front to the back. We just map another line here. Oh, laser eyes.
Watch the side of the door. It's not gonna fit through. Oh, it's so close. So the garage floor is a little bit sloped, coming from the back of the garage to the center of the garage where they used to have a drain. Whew. So we have to level up this patio stone in order to set the wood stove on it.
Close enough for setup purposes.
Yeah. Okay, we're actually going to set the stove onto it to finish this dry fit to make sure that the stovepipe on the unit matches the stovepipe in our ceiling. Get back. Closer. Close. That's gonna tell us where it is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's way better for height.
Mm-hmm. I can see inside of it now, so I don't have to lay on my belly.
Good in the hood?
Good in the hood, yeah. The back end, it could probably go back
Back to the wall?
a little bit, but that means that we have to move the whole thing back because I think we'll be alright. I think we'll be alright there.
Okay. So We think this is where it's staying. Now it's a dry fit, so we got to take it all apart now and put it together with PL. We're using PL, right?
Yeah, we're using PL.
Okay.
Now, the proper way to do this would be mortar, but we're not 100% sure that this is going to stay here forever. So what we're going to do is we're going to shim it. We're going to add gobs of PL as shims. That won't rot. And when it dries, it becomes hard. And if we need to move it in the future, we can just give it a pop with a hammer. It'll pop off of the slab, and then we can move it. That's the theory anyway. That's it. All right. We've got our courses of block on the floor. So this front corner here, we were pretty well almost half an inch, 3/4 of an inch off the floor. So I used some porcelain tile underneath of the block and then filled with PL. And once that PL dries, it won't go anywhere. We're also going to PL the patio block to the top, which will stabilize all of it. We're only holding the 110 pounds of the wood stove. So it should be fine.
We spent some time leveling out the platform for the wood stove. It took a while, but it's okay because it's nice to be perfectly level. We're gonna line up the chimney with the hole in the wood stove, and then we'll start installing the pipe.
So there, it's all cleaned out. All that creosote is cleaned out now.
It's gonna make a mess.
It's gonna make a mess.
Is there another way?
Turn the vacuum on, you can hold it next to it.
Oh, I can do that actually.
Put the extended wand on it.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's gonna get messy.
Loud.
And loud, yeah. So now we're gonna put all the pipe sections together, screw them together for install. You want to line up as best you can. You want to line up the seams in the pipe so they're facing the back. All right, and we'll touch those screws up when we do some paint touch-ups at the end.
Moving.
Yeah, we might want to try that actually. Just tip the front up.
Oh, that plate.
Yeah. Okay, set down.
Now it's got to move back.
Yeah. It's coming forward just a hair, but I think that's pretty
Forward? Like towards me?
towards the front of the stove.
Okay, that feels good after a few days of this. And that's pretty much what we can do with this project for now.
So while Robin's at cheer today, I have some masking to do around the top. I want to paint where the white and the red above here is. And yeah, we'll show you the end result. Bye. There, I'll paint it up.
There is no metal on there, and you see a vent in the middle. That vent is the intake vent to our grow room. Right now, we've learned that this is not enough ventilation, so we're not 100% sure what we're gonna do to fix this yet. So at this point, we're gonna leave that because we might add an additional one. We might remove that one and put a bigger one there. We're not exactly sure, so we're just gonna leave that alone for now, and that's fine. The stove still has its clearances in the back for fire protection, so that's fine. We can leave that there. The other thing is we built this platform today with you guys, but I really like these face bricks. I don't even remember where we got these, but we got these probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And when we install the wall tent at the campland, we're going to use this as the hearth for the wood stove that's going there. So this is going to be used for the hearth. We have plenty of it. We have enough to do the hearth and this platform. So we're going to do that at a later date. And then if you take a look at this area behind me, you have the back of the stove, you have the door going into the grow room, and then you have this area right here. We are going to put a shelving unit here that's accessible from the front and the back. And that's going to be to store the small pieces of wood for the cutting board. But then also we are going to put a face on the front of that. So this right here is a kitchen door that we removed from our kitchen and we no longer need for anything else. We did that probably about 6 years ago now, and they've been hanging around just for a perfect job, and we found it. So they're solid. You can screw in anywhere you want, and that screw is going to grab. So picture on the front of that shelving unit, these are going to be down the whole entire bottom. And we're going to keep that shelving unit about 12 inches off the floor just to allow some circulation underneath of it for drawing the wood. So we do have a lot of projects coming up. Sometimes it seems a little bit overwhelming, but then sometimes you have to just work on the priority stuff, which for us this year was the stove. We needed to be able to have the stove installed for winter time, and we also have to bring the wood in still. So these projects that I'm talking about here, the face for the wood stove, the vent for the grow room, and the shelving for the cutting boards, that's going to have to wait until another time.